So you kind of make your videos how I make my videos. Like I just talk and
yeah,
then
bro,
like
that's
let
it.
it lead.
I don't try to fabricate anything. You know what I mean? I just try to be real, authentic, and say
Yeah.
what I gotta say. I'm not religious. I'm not super religious. Just because like I feel like a lot of religions try to get people to believe uh through like fear. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
do this or there's this consequence, or you know what I mean. And then it's like, at that point, are you even following this religion because you truly identify with it, or are you following this religion because
Hmm.
you're scared of what happens if you don't? And then at that
Yeah.
point, I was having a conversation with one of my buddies not too long ago, because he was saying that, like, for certain Christians, not all, I'm not putting all Christians into a box, but like
Right.
for certain Christians, it's like, if you have to have the threat of going to hell to be a good person, are you even really a good person? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's like, I don't know. If you need the threat of something to do something, that's not your like actual intent.
Hmm. I think it's like we have to look at religion from the aspect of like culture. So it may not be in the realms of control for the person a part of any particular like sect in the world, but I just see religion as the ultimate control mechanism for the population.
Absolutely.
I mean, literally, when the Roman Catholics first started getting into Christianity, there was a fight between the French Catholics and the Protestant Catholics, and literally, like 5,000 people were murdered in a massacre. And it was like in the fourth millennium this happened, and I started thinking about like all of the shit you see now in the news, especially like with Palestine, right? Like when
Hmm.
the British Mandate came out in the 50s and they split, literally, like the Ottoman Empire had like this land, Christians, Muslims, and the Jews were coexisting all as one. Then the British came in, they split all the motherfuckers up. And now we see every day these wars in the Middle East for like no reason.
Hmm.
And it's the same thing here. It's like you see gang members kill each other all in the streets, and they're really under the same fucking branch of gang. It's like you have Rolling 60 Crips here killing like this block here, but all of y'all niggas are Crips.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, so I kind of look at religion as that, like it's just the ultimate way that people are controlled.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Do you ever get like annoyed with how, like, just to piggyback off of that, you ever get annoyed with how like people box themselves, and generally it usually seems to be people who are do have something in common, that but they still find ways to like break themselves up. Does that bother you?
Like people marginalizing themselves, like
Yeah.
putting labels on each other. Yeah, like people do it because it helps them like identify with a tribe or something.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of people when they watch my videos, they're like, "Oh, like I'm glad you're crafting out a space on YouTube for people like us," and I'm like, because I feel like everybody should like kind of be on the same wavelength with this shit. Like we shouldn't be kind of categorizing ourselves in different areas. It's just gonna split everybody up even more. And the world's already split the fuck up.
Yeah.
We don't need more of it.
I feel that, bro. I
Because
feel
then
that.
you start getting into like people who feel like their way of life is right, and then like that's how shit like murder happens, conflict happens.
Mm,
Um, Targeting somebody based on what they believe. It's just unfair to everybody.
absolutely, bro. Yeah, and that's an internal conflict thing I have with myself, because like something that I try to promote is like self improvement and stuff like that, and I think like a lot of people can take that as like, I don't know, you think you're trying to be better than somebody, or you think you're better than
Hmm.
somebody. You know what I mean? And then that's tough, because I'm the kind of person where I question myself. So I'm like, am I?
Do
Am I
you
doing this?
do
Am
you
I a
think you're better than
narcissist,
most
bro?
people?
Yeah, like, am I like, I saw one of your videos. It's called you're not. a guru, you're just a spiritual narcissist or something like that. And I like
Yeah, you're
sometimes
not a chosen one.
you're not
You're
a
just a
chosen one,
spiritual.
you're just a spiritual
Yeah.
narcissist. That's what it was. And like
I mean,
sometimes
watch the videos, bro. It's like these niggas be like on the videos talking about like you was not understood.
yeah.
They didn't appreciate
Yeah.
everything that you had to offer. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't think they was thinking the same thing?
Right, man. And yeah, I gotta question that stuff myself because yeah, sometimes I think I have people that think that about me. But yeah, man, it's like we're all just doing our thing, you know what I mean? So yeah.
What do you do that make people question that about you, though?
Bro, I think when I try to I've always been like the corny guy. You feel me? I've always been like the type of guy where like I remember one of my earliest memories of this was in middle school. I had just made the soccer team, all right? And
All right.
so we were having our first team meeting or whatever, and when two I think it was like two guys walked out of the room and these guys started talking shit about each other. You know what I mean? They started talking shit about the guys that just walked out of the room. And I was just like, "Hey y'all, like come on. We won't get along as a team if we're, bashing each other behind each other's backs. We all got to be on the same page, you know?" And so
Mm,
and then it turned into everybody kind of being like against me because I'm defending the people that aren't in the room. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? And so yeah, I think it becomes a thing where like if you are amongst people that are hating on other people, but you're the person who tries to not be the hater, it turns everybody on you. You
Yeah,
know
you
what I mean?
become the scapegoat.
You become the scapegoat. Yeah, because they feel bad for what they were doing. You kind of
Yeah.
try to talk to them as the voice of reason, and now they're like,
Yeah,
"Fuck
let's
this guy.
sacrifice him
Let's
because he's
sacrifice
like,
him." Yeah, he wants to be the
yeah.
odd man out. Fuck this guy. He's trying to do the right thing. And so it's just, yeah, man. It feels like that's the story of my life.
Mm.
I feel like I see a lot of like wrongdoing. I guess like things that probably shouldn't be done or talked about. And all I try to do is just be like, hey, like, chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And somebody like attacks me for what I believe. But everybody's
So
entitled to
like,
their own thing.
if your wife is telling you about some shit that she's going through at work, and she's like, yeah, this can I cuss on your
Yeah,
show?
bro. Yeah.
Okay. She's like, yeah, this girl is like pissing me off. She's just always annoying me in all these different ways. And you're like, okay, well, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I do this, and that. And you see something wrong in her logic. Do you like attempt to correct it at all times and like it backfires, or give me
That's a
like an
fantastic question.
example?
Yeah. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off there, bro. But
No, you good.
that's a fantastic question. Yeah, like a lot of times I think I do make the mistake of like trying to analyze the situation and like try to make sense of it from my perspective. But like that's 9 times out of 10, that's like not what people want. You feel me? Like 9 times out of
Hmm.
10, I think people just want reassurance and or like some kind of almost like you agreeing with them,
Yeah,
and
that's what they want.
that's what they want, right? Yeah, that's what people want. People want you to agree with them. People don't want accountability. I would go as far as to say that. Um,
Hmm.
and all I try to do is, yeah, I'm like I am somebody who tries to hold myself accountable, and so like that's kind of like in a way my love language, if that makes sense. Like I want somebody to be like, hey, why aren't you? You said you were going to do this. This was your goal, so why aren't you going out there and chasing it? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so yeah, it's kind of like a similar thing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because
man.
it helps you. It helps you like realize that they're paying attention to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It makes me sometimes when I don't have the sometimes when I don't have like the strength or the focus to do what I'm trying to do, it helps to have somebody else be like, be that accountability factor for me. And so I think because that is how I receive stuff, I try to do that for other people. But like you said, a
Mm,
lot of times it does backfire because I think a lot of times people do just kind of want that reassurance.
yeah. It's like when you, I've come to realize like most times when I talk to people, I'm not really talking to who they truly are. Like
Hmm.
as I see it, like I'm talking to who they think they are.
Yes.
So to determine if you're making the right decision in what you're saying, how you say it, the tone you say it in, you have to also consider, even in the light of the truth, you're going to piss them off in most
Yes.
cases. You can't not piss somebody off who's not being themselves.
Fact.
So it's like, I don't know. You just have to like be like, am I going to piss this person off? How much do I care about them? And can I live with being honest?
Hmm.
I'd rather like literally not have anybody in my life than like lie to everybody and like
Bro.
pretend like there's a relationship there.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. So on to piggyback off of that, like you seem like a pretty introverted dude. Do you like you not have a lot of people around? You keep kind of close to yourself?
So you know how I made the no friends and shit video?
Yeah.
All right, so a few people have been like messaging me like, "Oh, bro, you have a girlfriend and like you know your parents and shit like that." But I'm like, bro, fuck, they're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in most cases, it's like I really don't feel like I have anybody. Like I'll go like a whole week in this isolated state of like just being who I am.
I feel that.
Where like I know if I say what I truly wanted to say, people would be like, "You fucking psychopath! Shut the fuck up!" You're like you're breaking the order in this like stable chain of life that most people are in. Like, just shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. It's similar to what happens to you when you try to help people and like truly be there for them. They're like, just stop. Like this person is a fucking asshole. And you need to stop pretending like they're not. And you're
Yeah.
like, dude, like
Yep. Yeah,
so.
man. I think that's I think that's like the Kanye West effect. I don't know your opinions on Kanye
Mm,
West. But like I feel like that's like why Kanye gets as much hate as he does cuz he's just like an extremely passionate dude
mm,
and he has thoughts that like you said it breaks the order. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? He's like a very like passionate but like it's almost in like chaos that he brings this stuff out. But yeah, man, that's similar to the thoughts that I have because it's like I don't know, man. I can see I feel like I can see through like bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
hmm.
Do you have that kind of like sixth sense too? Like you kind of like if somebody's
Oh
bullshit,
yeah,
you know it, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and I
Especially like when you work. My bad, bro. I cut you off.
no, you're good. Go ahead.
What do you do for work? Because I'm about to
Uh,
give you an example.
yeah, man. I work. What I do for work is we build like submarine parts for
Okay.
submarines. Um, but yeah, that's what I do.
So you have like a manager or supervisor.
Yeah.
All right. So you know, do you ever look at your manager or supervisor and you go, "You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about."
Bro, I know it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah.
It's like just shut the fuck up and stop pretending like you're in so much control of whatever the fuck you think is going on here. Like let people work. That's how I view like a lot of people older than me or like a lot of people that think they know what the fuck they need to do in life. Even
Yep.
the people who know what to do in life don't know how things are gonna like projectably go. That's why they create models for certain shit because they're just predicting different shit.
Yeah.
A bullshitter is somebody who's just like they try to predict too much shit and like they it's almost like they have like this subhuman view of everybody else. It's like I'm better than you because I have this car, this house, this fucking whatever the fuck going on in my
Position.
life.
Yeah. Like even the having holding that position over you. Yeah. Um. But yeah, man, that's like the difficulty of being in the position of being somebody younger. Like because you're what? You're 24, 23.
23.
You're 23. Yep. I'm 20. I'm about to turn 25 next month.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, that's the difficulty of being a young person who like has an old soul and like kind of reads the room and reads people,
Mhm.
like because like
What does it feel like to be 25?
shit, bro, it's weird.
I
Like,
feel old as fuck.
bro, yeah, I was just talking to my wife yesterday in the car, and I was like, up until the point where I was like 23, I was cool. I was like, I'm still young, and then 24 hit, and I was just kind of like, ooh, I didn't really like that. And then like 25, it's like I'm almost 30, So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, bro. So it feels kind of weird and trippy, but yeah, man. But like I feel older than what I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
You're like
because
mentally 54.
yes, yeah, because like
Yeah.
so many of the people my age around me are like still kind of broadcasting everything on social media and like
Mhm.
partying and like I feel like I like a lot of the friends that I did have a few years ago dropped off once I had a kid because it's just kind of like because that's not what they're into. You know what I mean? They like a lot of them don't want kids, and a lot of them are in the lifestyle of not trying to settle down with nobody. They're just kind of
Mhm.
doing their thing. Which like if that's your thing, go ahead. But for me, that's not sustainable and fulfilling enough for me. Like
Mhm.
I need
Has somebody ever like been like, Jake, did you vote for Trump?
bro. Like yeah, people ask me all the time like radical stuff. I don't
You
like
seem like a very conservative person.
in a way I'm not like I wouldn't label myself as conservative. um I would label myself as I don't even get into politics, bro, truthfully. Like
Mhm.
I really believe that all politicians are really just in it for the benefit of themselves.
Mhm.
And I if we're talking about like my values, my character, yeah, I guess I'd be semi conservative, I guess. Because just
Moderate.
yeah, just because like I do think that like there is like a certain kind of like there is a certain kind of value that and moral standard that I hold myself to, you know.
Right.
mm,
Hmm. What are your friends like?
my friends, well, my friends now,
Your best friends?
yeah, my best friends, yeah, like Tyler, I've had on my podcast, really cool dude, chill. He really like he keeps to himself for the most part. He lives with his girl, and they play in a band. He's a bassist. He plays the bass.
Mhm.
Um, and that's really all that he's into is just like music, uh, grinding, and then like coming back home with his girl.
It's
And
11 o'clock.
oh,
Oh shit! It's
yeah,
11 o'clock.
yeah. Coming. I hate the fact that that setting is. I don't even know how to take that off my laptop. But anyway, um,
Wait, you're in Eastern time?
yeah, I'm Eastern time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, Tyler is pretty chill. My boy Nevin, he's trying. He's focused on improving himself. He's trying to get the things down right. I know he's got problems in his life that hold him back, and he tells me about them. And I never broadcast them to anybody. That's his story to tell. But he's a really cool dude. I think I just like self aware people. Those are
Mhm.
like the two guys in my life that are like really close to me right now. I would say. Um, I got a boy, my boy Drennan. He's cool too. We don't talk as much as we used to, but he's still a really cool dude. Um, but yeah, for the most part, like I said, I kind of realized that there were people in my life that were lying to me, and like because I'm a conservative person, like you said, and I don't like to make people
Well,
feel
you're
bad.
moderate.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
moderate. You
moderate,
said you're moderate.
moderate. Because I'm a moderate person, I I don't like to I don't like to bring up conflict. I don't like to start stuff with people. And so because of that, like a lot of people I feel would be comfortable like clowning me and stuff like that. And like I would just be like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? But it's just like I don't need that around though. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the circle that I want around me like has to be either people that are like building each other up, helping each other out, or like I don't want no circle at all. You feel me?
Hmm.
Like I would much rather just like keep it in the house with my family before I would make some friends that are gonna not really be my friends behind my back, you know?
hmm I always have like this. I always assume that people talk about me behind my back.
Same.
Because I mean, I'll say something, and then later on in that day, I'm like, oh shit, I did say that. They're probably talking about that shit right now. So,
Yeah.
and it's usually it's not stage light syndrome where like you think people are looking at you and they're not. It's literally like I'll say something off the wall, and I'm like, I didn't really have to say that, but they needed to hear it.
Yeah.
So, because most of the time when I embrace people that don't connect with me immediately because it's like I can learn something from their perspective, and then we'll end up talking, and I don't agree with half the shit they're saying, but
Mm,
they'll say something, and I'm like, well, why did you do that? And by asking that question, like they open up this whole different ideology that you've never thought about, and then it makes them think about why they're actually doing it, and then y'all connect in the future from there. Because
that's
it's like,
nice.
damn, this person really just like asked me, why the fuck did I spend $900 on this car payment every month when like I never questioned it before?
Yep.
And they're like, damn, I learned something from him. Let me go trade this fucking car in.
No, real shit, man. Yeah, like that's something that I like. I'm the type of person I ask a lot of questions, and it's hard to connect with people who don't ask questions for me.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
yeah, because like people don't like to be questioned. You know, it's just like a lot of people don't. At least where I'm at. But yeah, man.
Do you have any questions for me? Um, like anything that you've wanted to ask, but you thought I'll be like angry to talk about or something?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. I've been wanting to ask like some people buy their subscribers on YouTube. Have you ever done that?
No, I don't
It's
even.
tough, bro.
The thing is, if you buy your subscribers, your real subscribers will see it in your views.
Oh, for real? I didn't know that.
So like YouTube will see it too because of the algorithm. It's like why aren't people engaging in this video? He has like 100K subs. Why is he getting like 1,000 views?
Okay. Yeah,
So
I
it's
did not.
like the algorithm is going to see your watch time, see your engagement, and be like something's not adding up.
Okay, I feel that,
I
bro.
used to I was gonna tell you after you upload this, like share this shit on like Reddit subreddits.
Okay,
Um,
is that the gold mine of getting subscribers or?
oh, absolutely not. It just works though when it really does. Like every now and then, like when I post my video, I'll put it on Reddit, and like the post I have like 20 upvotes, and then another post I have like -1 because everybody on the subreddit hates it. But real fucking people with ideas come to your channel, and it's not just some superficial like great video, keep it up bullshit. It's like they drop fucking paragraphs of what they're feeling, and I love that shit.
That's what's up.
It's like let it out, man.
Yeah,
Fucking let's talk.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. So like, what would you say is like the best way to gain subscribers?
um Really just good content, man. I was so focused on having professional looking videos and the whole video essay type shit going on where like I'm just diving into shit at like this conventional level that people typically subscribe at. And really they got motherfuckers on YouTube like getting like 40,000 subs because it hits you and you're like, it's not about the fucking idea, it's just how it makes people feel. If people connect with it, you're gonna grow regardless.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Um.
I like the idea for your channel, man. Like that's why I asked, can I like hang out with you in person? Because I'm like a style like this is just better in person, in my opinion.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah, and that offer still holds. Like for real.
Yeah.
Like you name it, or I can come to you. Like for real. Um. But yeah, bro. What would you say is the biggest problem in society right now?
I would say I don't want to sound like a socialist when I say this, or like I'm a communist or something, but I would say capitalism.
Yep.
I would say this like infinite need to grow as both an individual is, well, just as an individual is bad for society. It puts in people's minds that they constantly need to do the next fucking thing, and like um I need to go to the gym, I need to study, I need to fucking get a better job, I need to get this, get that. It's like, stop. Like, you're doing the same thing that Google and Tesla does. You're just a company, but in a body.
Yep. Literally, man. Literally.
It
Yeah.
makes people drained in a sense because you never like stop. You never stop to think like, why am I doing this in the first place?
Facts. Facts. Yeah, bro. For me, like, I think one of the big things is like everybody wants to be heard, but like very few people actually listen. You feel
Mm-hmm.
I could strike up a conversation with somebody, and one minute we're having like a conversation back and forth, we're talking about stuff, and then the next minute, like they're just like ranting. You feel me? And
Mm-hmm.
and instead of like being a conversation, now this is a monologue. And
Mm-hmm.
instead of like listening to other people's perspectives, because like I was seeing something, I read some kind of like scientific research that said the human brain is like only has an attention span of like 7 seconds now or something like that.
Yeah,
And
we have the attention of a goldfish.
yeah, bro, that's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah, it's
And
because of
so
TikTok.
yeah, and so like we're not validating anybody else's ideas or creativity anymore. It seems it's like we're only validating ourselves, like in what we have to say, instead of
Like, are you
listening.
talking about in person or
Just
like?
just in general, just on a broad scale. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just use the conversation as like an example, but like
Mm-hmm.
literally just like on a wide scale. Kind of going back to what you said earlier, like if people think that they're in a position higher than you, they won't listen to what you got to say. They're not going to listen to what
Yeah,
your 23-year-old mind has to say. They're not going to listen to what my 25-year-old mind has to say if they're 40. You know what I'm saying? Because they think,
unless they're mentally 25.
yeah, right, right. Because they're gonna just think, oh, like I'm in this position, I'm older than you, I'm above you, I don't gotta listen to you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like cutting off this communication with other people because of our belief of being higher or better than one another.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I just
it's
what's up?
um. Sometimes you what?
Oh, I was just gonna say sometimes I just like go off on like tangents. My bad. Wait, you go ahead, bro.
You just did the same thing you spoke on.
What?
The tangent,
But
like
yeah, bro,
how people go.
I
Yeah.
literally just did what I described. That's crazy.
Um. So I just think about it as like narcissistic projection. Like people, like you said earlier, people want to create a monologue that other people are like. They kind of want an audience, and like as a conversationalist, you become the audience to them. They don't really see you as a person, just like a shell of what they're trying to speak to.
Right.
A lot of old people that are around me do it. Like they'll literally, like the 30 something euros that I know, they don't like taking advice from people in their 20s because they're like tired already. They're just like, oh, you have no fucking idea what's coming when you hit 30. And I'm like, oh, I know what's coming.
Yeah.
And the 40-year-olds kind of, I would say I connect more with older people like in their 40s and 50s more than I do people in their 30s and 20s.
I feel that.
They listen more, like they actually question why I feel a certain way, and then like they're like, "Oh, I didn't really think about it like that."
Cool, man. So you're probably like surrounded by like a lot of well, not a lot of, but you're probably surrounded by people who older people who are like wiser and like they kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, like they take stuff and they've learned from it rather than like kind of becoming older and bitter.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
My mentors are. My mentor is actually my boss. Like he gave me a really great opportunity. Um, a year and 6 months ago, and it's been up ever since. I like listening to what he has to say about marriage because sometimes I'll come to him and I'm just like, bruh, I don't see how the fuck people get married. Like, why would you ever do this? And he's just like, well, you have to look at it from like the tax benefits. You have to look at it from like overall the legacy of what you're gonna do for your kids, your career. And I'm like, okay, but like still, I don't know. It's kind of like a big brother relationship with me and him, and also a lot of people. Like, I don't really consider them friends. I just consider people much older than me like sources of information that I can pull from in order to not make bad decisions.
I feel that. That's what's up.
Like you being 25 and me being 23, I look at you like you're 20 years older mentally that I could like extract data from and like learn from.
That's wild, bro. Because I feel that way about you. Honestly, like, I look at you as somebody that like I could gain a lot of knowledge from. So,
Yeah. Do you read a lot?
do I read a lot? I just like have recently started reading. Have you ever heard of David Goggins? I don't know.
The Navy SEAL who was the pest control dude?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Dude, what a fucking life change, bro.
Right. Crazy.
It's crazy.
Bro. Drastic. So yeah, man, I'm reading his book right now. I'm almost finished with that one. There's
a lot of self-improvement based books.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And
don't get too deep into the rabbit hole.
Right. And that's what I was just about to say. And that's not to like what you're saying about capitalism, like thinking you constantly have to grind because you got to chill too. You know what I mean? You got to rest. But like, but yeah, man, I definitely am very firm because I've always been like a very, very socially anxious dude. But like, I'm trying to like, so like my end goal would be kind of like what you said, like to just kind of like go off the grid. You feel me? Like kind of just like do my own thing with my family and kind of just like be away from civilization, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, but like I had to tell myself that in order to get there, I got to start making moves to put myself in that position. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest thing that was holding me back was the fact that I was socially anxious, scared to talk to people, scared to put myself out there, and like, and but you have to do those kinds of things in order to financially be where you want to get. You know, and so yeah, that's where I'm coming from in terms of self improvement. I'm just trying to, uh, because I really believe that uh, what the fuck is the word? I really believe that connecting with people gets you a whole lot farther than what a degree could get you. Like,
oh, definitely, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because look, right now, I'm having this conversation with you. You have 9,000 something subscribers. I'm not going to put any expectations on it. I might get zero. I might gain 0 subscribers from this information. But there is potential here because I took action on this. There is potential that I now gain subscribers. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Connecting with people can get you farther than what a degree can, is what I believe. And so in order for me to do that, I have to improve myself, improve my mind, so that way I can put myself in a position to connect with people.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. And so, yeah, off of that tangent though, I'm reading that David Goggins book for self-improvement. I'm about to read like it's like the 17 Secrets to Awakening or something like that by Nick Z. Yeah.
Name one.
You said name a 17 secret?
Like name a secret.
Name a secret. Presence. Like, and I haven't started reading this one yet. This is what I'm about to start reading. But one of the secrets I feel like would be presence, like just being present in the moment. Yeah, man.
You know another one?
I don't. Is this no? Let me ask you this: is this like? Is this because you don't believe in the awakened? Is this because you don't believe in awakening?
Why you say that?
Because I don't know. I'm just asking a question.
I believe people can be awakened in a sense.
Okay.
People can see the world for what it is based on what they did. Yeah, okay. I believe in it. I believe in a sense I was awakened.
I feel
I
that.
don't want to make it my whole personality,
I feel
but
that. Right.
I do believe you can be awakened. I see self improvement as something beyond face value. That's why when I was like 18 or 19, I used to read like the 40 Laws of Power and little shit like that. But recently I've been reading like a lot of Carl Jung, a lot of E. Rich Fromm. Um, this book called Sapiens, somebody recommended in my comment section. I was like, fuck. I'm gonna just order it, see what happens. Then I ordered it, and fuck, man, the book is amazing. Like it teaches you how distorted history is based on myths that really don't exist.
Yeah, man.
Everything in life is like make believe. Nothing exists,
Hmm.
but it only exists so people can have a set amount of rules to follow. Because outside of 150 people, like I said in my other video, order becomes kind of hard. You can't control millions of people without a religion, without a common God that everybody believes in. And that God can be some man with a fucking beard, a piece of fucking paper with no value or credit.
That's
When
good.
you like go into like if you go from David Goggins to like an agriculture book back to like 18th century philosophy and then back to like real estate, it clicks and you're like, this is all self improvement.
Yeah. Facts, man. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I like what you said about like things in history being fabricated or things like that. I guess so. In the sense that you say you believe that you believe the fabricated things. Like you believe that Thanksgiving was wholesome, and it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't murdering people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out those things, and you kind of peel a layer of what you used to believe in, and now you realize, oh, like there's a different story to that. That is what I believe is awakening. You feel me?
Right.
So yeah, in a
How do you
sense,
live with that though? How do you live with knowing that people were murdered on this glorious day that people hold so dear to their hearts? Like, how do
it
you?
drives me insane because so many people think that American history is so glorious and glamorous. Um, I mean, not even just American history, world history. Um, like people fail to realize that there's a lot of fine print things that aren't mentioned in textbooks
Yeah,
and in
like,
media.
yeah,
Hmm.
it does know. I'm coming to terms with the fact that it does no justice to tell everybody that there's secretly no order.
Yeah,
Like, imagine if everybody woke up one day and they like some being placed into everybody's mind that like nothing is real. Can you imagine what the fuck would happen
bro,
literally an hour from that?
chaos,
People would just kill each other and like there would just be nothing
real
to
life
live for.
purge. Yep, a real life purge. What's it like in Louisiana, man?
Um, see, I'm from Mississippi, so it's not as bad as it was, but it's still like I'm over it. But I don't know where I would want to live as of right now. I kind of just want to do everything based on logic, not move somewhere or live somewhere because I want to.
I feel.
Because like you, like I do want to like retire very early and like live far away from people, but I can't do that in like New York City or like LA or something.
Hmm.
And in my mind, like I love characteristics from different places in the United States. So living here, my I guess my expectation threshold is very poisoned in a sense.
Yeah.
It's like fuck, I know that if I was living in Texas right now, there would be a steak and shake like 5 fucking minutes away from where I'm at. But I live in Louisiana, so it's not. Let me move to Texas and pay like $20,000 more a year just so I can like be next to a steak and shake. It's a conflict battle between what I really want. But Louisiana's cool. It's like the cost of living is very good. You can have a lot of the things that you see on social media from people flexing at a reasonable rate. So it's cool if you have the mindset of growth. But then we're back to capitalism and we're back to just wanting more and more.
Do you meditate?
Like sitting there and like closing my eyes.
Never, nah, not like a literal sense. Do you like do anything? I know that you post like stuff about like on Spotify, like
Mm.
meditative sounds or something along those lines. Do you like I don't know. Do you like practice mindfulness? Is that a better word for it? I think meditation is a bad like a taboo word, but like mindfulness or
Yeah, when I drive,
okay.
you ever is your face froze? Oh no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. No.
You ever go to work and just turn on the most abstract sounding shit and just drive, and you
Yep.
just look off into the distance as you drive,
Yep.
and you're not really necessarily thinking about something, but you're thinking about something you can't describe.
Yep.
That's like meditation for me.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. For me, it's like my sound is like water sounds. I could turn on water sounds and just you know
Mm.
what I mean, just go. Do you have a like who are your big influencers in life? I would say.
Aphex Twin. I'm not even sure I'm saying his fucking name right, but it's APHEX Twin. He's
Okay.
considered one of the greatest alternative electronic musicians of all time. Um, David Fincher, he directed The Social Network, Gone Girl, Fight Club, all those good movies. Who else, man? I romanticize the life of a lot of philosophers. I'm
I feel
like, these niggas really just like went off into a fucking forest and like found the answers to life, and like thousands of years later, here we are like talking about ideas that they kind of laid the groundwork for. That's just inspirational to me because in a sense, I take that and I'm like, okay, I want a good job and I want the family and stuff. But also when I die, like years from now, I want people to see my work, find it somewhere, archive it, and be like, yeah, here was this guy in 2022, like basically going crazy.
that's what's up, man.
What else? Playboy Cardi, man.
Playboy
Playboy
Cardi, you
Cardi's,
say?
yeah, man. I like his like mysterious, I'm gonna drop every now and then type of thing. He don't really remind me of like what a rapper is like, what a rapper is in a stereotypical sense. He's
Mhm.
very like just himself.
What's up? Yeah, man.
How about you?
Oh yeah, influences. Yeah, man. Let's see. I like David Goggins a lot, man. His story is like crazy inspirational. Um, yeah, like pest control to Navy SEAL to like the running that he does. It's insane. His work ethic is insane, and like yeah, it's something I admire. Um, you ever heard of Joe Dispenza?
Mm-mm.
No, you don't know Joe Dispenza. Okay, well he's big on uh like what's the word? I guess like working on your mind and recreating, retraining your mind and your thought processes. Um,
Mm.
um,
Have you ever done acid before?
I've never done acid, bro. I'm like kind of scared of where my mind could take me.
Oh,
Um,
you just gotta dive into it, man.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never done it. For anybody watching this video that know me personally and in real life, I've never done any type of drugs.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah. I see what we're doing there. Um, yeah, man. I'm a little scared of that. But yeah, bro, I'm big into like your mind is like the biggest barrier for what you're trying to set out to do. Like,
True.
like you are your own biggest fucking enemy in this world. Like, that's how I feel. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, for me, I'm not worried about what anybody else is trying to do or say to me or try to put me down at this point. I'm just kind of focused on myself and how I can uh, defeat my own shit, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so like Joe Dispenza, like that's everything that guy stands for. Um, like he was paralyzed. His story is that he was paralyzed from the neck down at one point, and by like rewiring his mind, he like literally like cured his paralysis, like crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
I would highly recommend anybody to check out Joe Dispenza. Um, Aubrey Marcus. I don't know if you ever heard of Aubrey Marcus. He's the founder of On It, like supplements, dietary supplements, things of that nature. Um, and
What is
he's
the best? What does the best version of yourself look like?
the best version of myself, bro. Is probably just like being somebody that like my kids and my wife, like when I leave this earth, like just being like he he was there. You know what I'm saying? Like he was in it with us, and
Mm-hmm.
like not somebody that like got caught up in the world and like stuff that don't matter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to be the kind of person that is into material things or like constantly like on the hamster wheel of trying to improve people, trying to impress people. Um, like I just want to literally like leave a foundation for my family that they can build on. Because there's like a lot of traumatic shit that like my family doesn't really talk about that happened in the past, and I'm trying to like be the generational. You good over there, bro?
I'm
Uh,
just scooting up to the
yeah,
mic,
okay, okay. The I'm trying to like
trying to break the
break
curse.
break curses. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so like I'm kind of trying to be like a good ancestor. You feel me? I'm about to release a video that like was talking about like being a good descendant. A lot of people get caught up being a good descendant, forgetting that they're also going to be an ancestor. And so I'm just like trying to be a good ancestor. You feel me? And I think that's like
Yeah.
I think that's what my self improvement journey is going to be. I don't really
So it's
have.
about legacy for you.
Yeah, it's about what I push forward, not what it's not even about me. It's about what I leave behind, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm not a self improvement person who's gonna be like in the gym 24/7. Like look at my physique. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm here to accomplish. I'm just trying to set a foundation for my children and my children's children.
You're trying to live forever.
In the sense, I wouldn't say like nobody's immortal. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. But yeah, I do want to be somebody who I guess in a way like started something for my family. you know
Yeah. I, sometimes when I get too stuck in my head, I'm like, am I just doing this because I'm scared of dying?
Okay.
Like when we have different iterations of our DNA, we pass it in the form of a child, but in a sense, it's really just us, right?
Right.
Or like when we build like monuments and statues of reflections of our work that we did at some point in our lives, it's just us again,
Feel that.
even after we die.
Yeah.
But I would rather do that and go down the path of like, you know what I'm saying? Just being there after I'm long gone and just living too much in the moment to the point where nobody remembers you because you were so consumed in something millions of other people was already doing.
I feel that. I feel that. But then you go back to and you talked about philosophers and
Mm.
how they thousands of years ago, created something that we're still talking about today and how inspirational that is, right?
Hmm.
So from that standpoint, if I could do that, I'm not even talking about in the world, bro. That's too much glory for me. From a sense of what I leave behind in my family, I kind of just want to be that person for my family. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to be out here
Hmm.
like look at me. This is what I did. This is build statues for me, build monuments,
Hmm.
do praise me. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm out here
Yeah.
doing. I'm literally just trying to build something that my family will be proud of.
Do you feel like this YouTube channel is like the outlet for that?
I think so.
Because in a sense, the bigger you become, you are going to become like that father-like figure to a lot of people that
Yeah,
support your channel.
absolutely.
It's gonna inadvertently become bigger than your family,
Oh,
and you have to step into that role.
yeah, for sure.
Do you get overwhelmed thinking about it?
No, I don't
That's
get
what's up.
overwhelmed. Yeah, I don't get overwhelmed because I don't know, bro. It's just like, bro, like getting overwhelmed, anxiety, all that stuff is like it's of the mind, and that's why like people like Joe Dispenza, I follow because he's very much like get out of your head, because your thoughts are not you. If that
I've heard
makes
that
sense.
before.
Yeah, your thoughts are not who you are. They are what fixes you into your ego, your identity.
Yeah.
Um, and so you could literally decide to change your identity if you wanted to, but you have to rewire your brain and you have to think different thoughts. And that requires you to be conscious because our brains are so subconscious that half the shit that what we're doing, more than half the shit, 95% of the shit that we do in our daily lives is shit that we learned when we were up until we were like 3 years old or some crazy shit like that. Like half the stuff we're doing is stuff that we witnessed our parents doing or we witnessed our siblings doing or somebody in our family. It's learned behaviors. So like if
Hmm.
you can literally like find a way to be mindful enough to change your thought processes or change your habits, you could become whoever you want to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Um.
And
Okay.
to just to tackle really quick because I got off on a tangent, and just to tackle what you asked me about, like, do I get overwhelmed thinking that way? I don't because I'm training my brain not to get overwhelmed. If that makes sense. Anyway,
Hmm.
yeah.
Do you feel like when you show anxiety, you're suffering twice?
When I show anxiety, am I suffering twice? Like once in my head, and then once because I outwardly like show it. Is that what you're asking?
No, it's more like if you are worried about a place that you and your wife and your child is about to go. Like, oh my God, like we're gonna get hit by a car. That would be unfortunate, first of all. But and you actually get hit by a fucking car, that means you suffered twice. Because I mean, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen anyway, right?
Fact.
I,
Fact.
I, I'm trying to like, I'm trying to work on that myself. I get really paranoid, like to the point where I feel like I don't know. I'd be paranoid about stupid shit,
It's like
like
that,
just
bro.
yeah.
Yeah, and I've been there too, bro. And uh, I don't mean to. Yeah,
What was
yeah.
you
Let
about
me
to
just.
say?
So
What was you about to say?
let me just ask you. I'll just ask it. So like is like I see you hitting that pen. Is that like maybe a coping mechanism or like
Oh, definitely. I think I
yeah.
have like a dopamine issue.
Okay, I feel that.
This is preventing me from having pointless sex, scrolling through TikTok, and buying things that don't matter.
That
I
makes
mean,
sense.
at the detriment of my health, but trade offs, no
Yeah,
solutions.
I feel that, bro. Um,
I'll
yeah,
tell people like I'll tell people just flat out like there's no denying what I do. I'll be like, yeah, I do it.
Yeah,
How about you?
that's what's up, man. Man, I definitely do think that with anxiety you can suffer twice. Um, and half the time, more than half
Why
the
do you
time,
do that? Why do you do that?
do what?
It's like you're about to like say something extraordinary and then you stop.
Bro, stop. Don't know me, man. No, bro. Yeah. That's a good question, dog. Yeah, I definitely like I that's anxiety. That's anxiety too because like
About what?
about bro, isn't that wild about saying the wrong shit? Like, but there is no wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I'm happy you called that out because that's something that I'm trying to improve in myself because I grew up in a very religious household where like you couldn't say this, I couldn't swear. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't, but that's something that I'm trying to realize is that like, bro, I'm my own person and I don't have to be anything for anybody that I don't want to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of times you're right. I do censor myself. I'm about to say something, then I stop. Yeah. Um,
Like you, is it from like a religious aspect that you stop? Like you literally feel like you shouldn't say it,
um, maybe that's part of it.
or is it perception of like people around you?
Perception is part of it. I grew up in a household where like disagreeing with my parents or like saying something controversial was considered disrespect, if that makes sense. So like
Mm,
if I said something that my parents didn't agree with or didn't believe in, like my thought process was disregarded as being disrespectful because
mm.
I don't think the way that you think. And that's not to like and I'm not coming for my parents either, you know what I mean? Like I love my parents, but like that
You have
was
to come for your parents sometimes.
yeah, you have to because sometimes it's just like, damn, bro, like I really felt like nothing I had to say was valid because the shit that I had to say was considered disrespect by you because it's not something that you believe in.
It
And
scares them.
it scares them, bro. It was scary to them because I questioned so much. I would question so much, and my parents would just be like, "Just because," and it's like that's not an answer. You know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah, they're
not
like,
giving me an
stop it.
actual answer. Yeah, stop asking questions. This is just how stuff is. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah,
no, there's got to be logical answers to shit. And
yeah.
but like it seemed like when I questioned things, when I said something that was kind of off the wall, it was like discredited in a way,
Hmm.
invalidated.
That's my problem with monotheistic religion, man. It's like this this amount of power we put into something that's omnipresent and just over us, right? It's like it just feels like something's missing.
Hmm.
Because then I used to ask my mom, like, okay, if this omnipresent force in the sky can see everything going on at one time, why does he allow people to have free will? And if you allow people to have free will, why do you allow people with free will to murder innocent children? Or why do you allow people with free will to implement systems that cause starvation to like thrive in our society?
Hmm.
Because if you were omnipresent, wouldn't you be able to stop it before it happens?
All right.
And then we go into the realms of dualism because a lot of Christians, a lot of Muslims like to say shit like, well, we have a separate evil force for that, and we call him the devil. So you give like the opposite role of evil to another entity, and it becomes like this pointless abstraction of like something we can't explain. Because I just told my mom and dad, I was like, they asked me if I believe, and I was like, I'm agnostic, bro. Like I just think I can't comprehend it as a human.
Mm.
And I'm not afraid to admit that I can't comprehend something. I think people need like some source for something to make sense of the things going on in their life. Because at a certain point, humanity was devout supporters of something called animism. So you would have like this is in the realms of like pagans, right? Like people that believe in spirits in the forest
Mm.
and Don't disrespect the forest god by killing these white-tailed deer because we're not going to have berries to pick from in the fall or some shit like that. What's the equivalent of that to what we have now? Well, you fast forward thousands of years in the future, and now you have Zeus, Poseidon, different entities to control mundane tasks that we need completed in our lives. You have a rain god, a sunlight god. Then eventually everybody just was like, okay, we're just going to put all of these responsibilities on one person. And that's my problem with it. It's just like, you made all of it up. Like, make your mind up. Are we going to have, I don't know. I just think like a lot of the things that people use to justify why they do things is made up. And if it's made up, why can't I make up my own version of the world?
Facts.
But like, you tell this to a Southern Baptist Christian, and they're just like, "Oh, you disrespectful Lord."
Yeah, yeah, man. It's very, very taboo to like speak about a different perspective in somebody who practices a certain religion, because it's like they always have that like that feeling that their religion is right, and then they discredit other people's beliefs. And it's
like,
just
oh,
like,
that's the devil.
That's the devil. Yeah.
The irony behind it being the devil is that typically Christians in today's world are followers of the New Testament, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the Old Testament of the Bible, the Roman Catholic version of the Bible that came out before 200 AD, there was no Satan. I kid you not, you can look it up. In the Old Testament of the Bible, dualism did not exist. There was no separate entity for evil to blame all of your problems on. And most Christians don't even know the background of their religion. It's like, as a black man, I am not about to follow a God that was used to control my people, to obey the master, right? It's like, why would I do that?
All right.
And the more you educate yourself on certain things, or like how you've been reading books from people that influence you, the more you'll start to see like the illusions that people abide by in order to make sense of life. And you can't make sense of life. We're all going through it at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So like, so I've heard like a lot of, I'm about to get real controversial right here. So like, I don't know if you've ever heard about like the possibility of like another life form or something, something that's not human, like being in control of these illusions.
Aliens?
Yes. Stuff like that. Like, what do you think about that? Like,
like the idea that aliens are our god?
Like, yeah, they're the ones feeding us these illusions that, hey, this is the truth. And that they're making everybody believe it. And so that way people are torn apart and all this stuff. It causes division amongst people. And so we can be further controlled.
I'm open-minded. Like, what makes you get to that point? Like, why do you believe that?
I don't necessarily say I would believe it. I would consider it a valid possibility. Just because, like, I don't know, bro. Like, you and I can't imagine that you would have the kind of conscience to be okay to be like, hey, here, this is the truth. Believe this, when knowing full well that it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do not have the conscience to go out there and try to lie to somebody to their face to control them. And so, like, and maybe it's just extremely evil people. I don't know, bro. Maybe I just can't wrap my head around somebody being this fucking evil. But it's like, bro, like, why?
It's like evil intent to control people with religion. Like, it works for order. Like, you literally need somebody to pass down these ideas after you die in order to tell their children after they die. Like, it just goes on, and then suddenly millions of people believe in this one God through history.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we kind of needed God in a sense in many different cultures to form trade routes, to form governments. If a particular religion had script that fit into how a government could control its society and benefit, why not use it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if God says, literally in Mesopotamia, there was a rule that said, um, if you kill the woman of another man, you must pay that man 20 shekels.
Mm.
But in the Bible, I mean, not in the Bible, but in our Constitution, we use the Christian God, and then we say shit like all men are created equal. So it goes back to the idea of whose religion is right, the Sumerians or the Americans.
Mm.
It's also like, okay, to fuck your mind up, they have something called, you ever heard of AWS?
No, I haven't.
So Amazon Web Services. 95% of their income comes from this service. It's not the Amazon store or their warehouses. It's AWS is powering almost every software company, almost every service that we use today. And they do this with EC2 instances. An EC2 instance is a virtual machine inside of a tenant of physical hosts.
Mm.
So you'll have millions of virtual machines inside of this one physical host. And inside of this virtual machine is an application for, say, Netflix, say, Facebook. I'm sure Facebook has its own data center, but let's use Netflix for this example. Or StreamYard. If to prevent StreamYard from going down, I need to make sure 4 EC2 instances are running all at one time. There's a load balancer in front of these 4 instances in AWS to distribute traffic between them all, right? So when I send a request to join your meeting, it's going to go to one of those EC2 instances that's supporting the app, the web app. My idea is that we're all living in an EC2 instance. Somewhere in the universe, like what people conceive as the universe is actually just a data center. Like God is a programmer.
Yeah.
The universe is a data center, and whoever's in control of it is like the facility manager or the engineer or something like that.
So, like, do you see like life is like a game in a sense, like a programmed game?
I don't think it's a game. I think life is an application.
Okay.
And Earth is just one physical host. All of the planets are different servers, and all of these servers, or aka planets in this universe, are in a data center somewhere.
Hmm.
It sounds crazy, but if you think about it, we use in the tech world, you have APIs that allow you to interact with another application. So if I wanted StreamYard to interact with GitHub, or I wanted StreamYard to interact with Instagram and upload it straight from StreamYard to Instagram, I need an API, a set of instructions for that. And people use APIs every day to communicate. When you want to go to a restaurant and you tell the server what you want to eat, that's an API. In a sense, like, all of us are, I used to think of myself as a virus, right? Like I thought like I was literally coded by whoever created all this shit to disrupt the order.
Okay.
You know what Task Manager is?
A little bit, yeah, I think.
Like you just like your video editing software isn't working, so you open up Task Manager to kill the task, the process.
Okay, yeah.
I think we're all just processes. Okay. Just operating under this one system, the operating system.
All right. So, like, do you believe in free will?
Sorta, but at the same time, yeah, so yeah, I do.
Okay.
I feel like I woke up and wanted to. I don't know, man. Now that you got me thinking, like,
Yeah. So, like, do you believe Right now, if you really wanted to, you could stop hitting that pen. You don't believe that?
No,
You think that that's a program in you?
no, 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 no. I think I can stop hitting the pen,
Okay,
but can I stop? I don't know. I mean, after the meeting, I'm probably gonna fucking hit the pen.
I feel that, bro. I feel that. Yeah, man. I'm like starting to believe more and more in free will. Like,
What if the pen is like code in my script?
what if the pen is code in your script? I don't know, man. So
In order for me to run as a process, I need to hit the pen, or you'll get a fatal error 002 or some shit.
okay? Nah, bro. I think if I can be real with you personally, uh, it's like I think we all have free will. It just takes the discipline to implement it. And
Yeah,
so if you really wanted to, if you wanted to, and this is why I like David Goggins so much. If you really wanted to put that fucking pen down, bro, you could do it. If you wanted to
yeah.
have power over that shit, you can. You know what I'm saying? Like I totally understand that the program theory, and I like, yeah, you might be right, you know, but like I believe in free will, but you have to like have the discipline and the mentality in order to implement it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, what if Jesus dying on a cross was just the programmer uploading himself to the system?
Okay. It might be. You know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Why do you think so many people are starting to have ideologies around the term NPC?
Right. Right.
Like,
Yeah,
you
and
go
we are
to,
programmed. We are programmed. Absolutely. Yeah, but I guess yeah. So if we're talking about programming, you don't think that you can, right? You don't think, yeah. So you don't think that you could break your shit. Like you don't think you could glitch the system. You don't think you could break your programming and just do whatever you wanted to do.
I think you can, but the idea that you did it, you had these individual actions that you think you was in control of is the illusion.
Okay.
It's individualism.
Okay.
David Goggins is an actor in the world of
Goggins.
individualism.
Yeah.
Goggins?
Goggins. Yeah.
David Goggins is an actor in the world of individualism. Like, everybody is. When I tell myself, oh, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, become a lawyer. Like, I told myself I was gonna do it, and I may actually do it, but there is some subconscious kernel that made me get that idea in my mind that I needed to be a lawyer. Maybe it was the pursuit of money, the pursuit of respect, the pursuit of trying to do right by my family.
Hmm?
But there was a kernel that made me get that idea. And if there was a kernel in place to put that in my mind that I needed to change, is it actually free will? From my perspective, it is because
Hmm.
I did it. But there was something before me that convinced me to do it subconsciously. So really, it's not free will, it's justified action. And the programming is things like your upbringing or environment. It's like you do have free will to escape your environment, but you only know you need to escape the environment because it programmed you.
Okay.
It showed you the bad sides about being around people that do drugs, being around people with no goals, being around people that don't concisely match your mindset, and you know you have to escape it now. It's not necessarily free will, it's just justified action.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, bro. I ain't gonna hold you up too long. I didn't realize we're 15 minutes over the hour. So
Now you good?
yeah, bro. I enjoyed this conversation. Uh, if you're down for another one, bro, we'll have to have one sometime for sure. Yeah, man. If y'all want to check out Felix's channel, I will put the link in the description. But yeah, bro. Thanks for coming on, dude. I really appreciate it, bro.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah. All right, man.
See ya.
All right, bro. Peace.